Telling. Now today, Waco is a city full of new development and booming business, but 30 years ago, it was a city with a tragedy that became a part of its history.
Now, even though the siege at the Branch-Davidian compound occurred 13 miles outside of the city, Mount Carmel and Waco are now forever connected. 6 News reporter Nicole Sheeran shares how, despite the disastrous ending to the siege, Waco is slowly becoming a city known for so much more, embracing a new identity. She joins us now in studio. Nicole?
Chris, Lindsay, days, months, and years since the event were spent mourning and working to rebuild. But on that day 30 years ago, the world's perception of Waco dramatically changed.
The lookout tower is engulfed in flames at the top.
Every city's got things that you wish wasn't a part of your past.
February 28, 1993, marked the start of a 51-day standoff between Branch Davidians and federal agents at Mount Carmel, 13 miles from downtown Waco.
Nearly right when the siege began, people in Waco really didn't have an understanding of anything about the Branch Davidians. Nearly 30 minutes outside of town in a really rural part of the county.
More than 200 people lived in the compound, following the religious teachings of David Koresh. When the siege ended in flames on April 19, 1993, dozens of people had died, and the world's perception of Waco was forever changed.
No city wants a tragedy to occur and their name be associated with it. In Waco, in this specific tragedy, Waco's name in this specific tragedy really became uniquely tied to each other in a way that sometimes tragedies in other communities, that it doesn't occur that way.
For decades, Waco could not shake that connection to the tragedy. Books have been written, documentaries and movies have been made, most of them with Waco in the title. But on May 23, 2013,
you got it!
Fixer Upper with Chip and Joanna Gaines premiered.
Not only are the Gaines incredibly talented and compelling and kind and likable, but the show was literally a different Waco family week after week. And so every episode you see a new, nice, engaging, warm family in this community living warm, good lives.
2 years later, the Magnolia silos opened, launching business and opportunity downtown. Today, that perception of Waco that wouldn't go away has now shifted. So when you think of Waco, what do you think of?
For me, it's the Dr. Pepper immediately. I know it used to be called the Waco. That's the first thing that I think of.
Downtown and how it's getting renovated.
Of the small business community.
The people, like the kindness that they have.
Awesome things happening downtown.
For some, it's Sic 'em Bears. When you think of the city of Waco, what do you think of?
I think of Baylor.
Baylor.
Others, Chip and Joanna Heaven. When you think of the city of Waco, what do you think of?
Oh, I suppose now it's Chip and Joanna, but it was obviously the Branch Davidian for years.
But for some, the history and event 30 years ago will forever stick. When you think of the city of Waco, what do you think of?
The ATF.
Really just the history, the Western, how long it's been here, the different things like the tornado that's come through here. Mainly the history, that's what I think about.
The compound?
The compound, okay, thank you.
A lot of people do not know that it's way up north. So that's basically, I have a family who lives overseas. So once they heard about it, it's like, whoa, what's happening in Waco? I said, no, this is not Waco. That's way up north. So they're confused. But we explained it to them and they understood that. No, Waco is different and it's better.
30 years ago, Waco was connected to a tragedy. But the story of Waco today isn't about tragedy. It's about triumph and community and redefining itself. Or you could say it's a town that needed a fixer-upper. Waco has a new identity in many different categories, and let's not forget, it's a sports city too. A Heisman Trophy winner, a men's basketball national championship, 3 women's basketball national championships, college game day appearances, ESPN's Big Monday. I mean, guys, the list could go on and on and on.
Nicole, nobody on the street mentioned the suspension bridge.
I know,
Remember,
and it's opening this weekend.
The Brooklyn Bridge in New York City was modeled after the suspension bridge here in Waco. This was the test drive.
I have to say, I know a lot of people that have that W Waco brand tattooed on their bodies. So Wacoans are obviously very proud of their city.
I would say that's a commitment.
Yeah, it is a commitment.
Great story. Thank you, Nicole.
Nicole, thank you.